It's a beautiful Thursday. Welcome everyone. Banembaniriza nnyo mwabalayi baffe abalungi. NTV ne Spark TV weewaawo amaca malungi nnyo kawetha kasufu olwaleero tulina abagenyi hayi twataddeyo posta naye abantu bagamba we can't wait, we cannot wait. These people have impacted the society nga bakozesa social media, digital content. Weewaawo tugenda kuba tunyumyako nabo olunaku olwaleero era nga tugenda kuba twogera ku social media biki byetukopye okuva ebweru ne tubiyingiza eno, biki ebirungi bye tugifunyeemu, biki ebyo bye tugamba nti wano tukozeemu ensobi tutereezeemu. Weewaawo tuline Albert Katuruguma. Jogede bulungi. And we have Derek Mayamba. Bagenda kuba bogerako naffe batuwabulemu mu ngeri emu oba endala. Weewaawo tovaawo nkomawo nabo paka saa 5 ez'okumakya. MwasuzeMutya. Abagenyi baffe batudde dda banekaanekanye bategese okubawa information egenda okubanga ebayambako to help your content grow, to help your businesses mwabalina online businesses grow, to help you grow as a person as well. Wow. Derek and Albert batudde dda tubaniriza nnyo ku MwasuzeMutya. Thank you guys for coming. Lwakuba maziga g'omusajja taliyo sinnagalaba naye yetweyongereeyo tugenda kuba byonna twenyumyamu. Derek, ngenda kusookako naawe sooka weeyanjule abantu bakutegeere ne lwaki oli ku program.
Hello everyone. Amanya gange bampita Derek Mayamba.
Okay.
Ndi musajja mugiso yade ka accent ndowooza okawulira.
Okay. Baniriza sir.
I am a digital media manager. Kwa company nyingi. I manage social media accounts and other digital media accounts for multiple companies. Let's say I wear different hats behind the phone, the car, the keyboard. So
kati omuntu oyo omulaba fulungi aleetaza okutegeera mu lulimi olufuutifuuti digital content manager. Akola ki nga okyogedde mu Luganda kuba nsigenda bikuddira mu Derek byogera.
Kitegeera. Kyenkola nkigambe ntya digital media manager.
Kugamba company webanga ina platform, media platform, oba Facebook or X or Snapchat or whatever, ng'obayambako no baterangayo waga no managing pages ezo ng'oteekayo content editing no editing.
Nkola content creation ko Facebook ngakotadde ne YouTube.
Okay. Era okikolera companies ez'enjawulo? Okay. Kale ebalo ebirala byokola apatunza?
I'm an environmental scientist.
Era kadi kalina okuti environmental scientist. Oyo aba akola biki?
Environmental scientist tuba katugambe taking care of the environment. Okulabira obutonde. Save the environment.
Plant trees.
Yes. So mulimu gwenkola, it has helped me be part of a journey that has made me feel important to the community. Yes, most importantly, the children. I love that part.
That is good.
Yes, so I don't know whether I can take you through how I've been getting to this place.
Which place? Of the
no. I mean social media.
Oh, okay. I think before you do that, let us let Albert introduce himself, then we come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, great. Oh, yeah. Ogumeho. Good morning. How are you, Albert?
Good.
Tukwaniriza ku show.
Our viewers on NTV, n'abatulaba ku Spark TV, abantu bafa bulungi. My names are Albert Katuruguma, Nkola Oban serving anga team lead and the founder at Ivers Digital. We are based in Uganda, in Kampala, here in Tinda. We're digital marketing, content marketing, influencer marketing agency. Doing this in Uganda, and also I've done and doing the same in 9 African countries. That's Benin, Ethiopia, Cameroon, DRC, Kenya, Tanzania, and Dubai, UAE. And I'm happy to be here.
Uganda.
So Twitter expects me to cry when I meet you, probably later in the show or after we are done with the show. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
That is good.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Derek, omanyi kati nawe oli hard guy kati because oli more digital creation at all. So obadde okyatunyonyola biki why you chose the social media?
Why I chose social media, I didn't actually choose it. I would say more like our paths met along the way because I was too much into environment. Yes. So how I got into this thing, that we had a competition some time back. So this play they're like, we need you to put up something on social media, blah blah. So fast forward, we did that. Time came and the guy I was with on my team, of course we won during that inter-university competition. Yeah. So during that time, I got some gig, what I call a gig, I don't know whether...
Is it because creating a content? Environment or that?
Yeah. Okay. Exactly, innovation, which area. So I get to meet one of these people. He happens to be a CEO of an organization called Uganda's Little Hands Go Green.
Okay.
So he tells me, I like your content, you're Derek? I was like, yes. So he tells me, come and watch and work with me. Okay. So fast forward, that's how I got into, so I got some fashion gigs, music, and everything. But as I was working with this gentleman, he put me in the world that I hoped I would get into it. And this time it was real, and the addition to that, I met children who have passion, they have love for environment. You find a kid, he just loves what he's doing. Let's say a kid is planting a tree, is happy, he wants a tree to grow, watches over it, and it is a very beautiful thing to watch.
It is.
Yes.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So. Along that, he introduced me to many different people. So time reached, I couldn't even handle my own account. So I was now
handling other people's.
Yes. So sort of I make organization shine. And
yeah, I hear you. Okay.
Exactly. It is most times you can't see us most times. Like my gentleman, my friend here, for him is very visible everywhere.
You're behind the scenes.
Me, I'm behind the scenes. So the biggest part of course, it is about benefits, the money. I have made some come and everything. I'm even running my liquor store because of social media money. But you know, I'm running a liquor store not because I'm a drunkard, but because people are.
Okay. Omulema from Lungi. Derek, nga wabagambye managing social media pages or accounts for different companies. Iranga gomvubuka mnange yetuddeko osobola okuba nga okutandikawo ekintu nga ddala kikyakola ate n'okifunamu and you earn a living out of it. Abantu balina bo kye boogera ku social media biki bye balaba biki bye bafunyeemu nabo their views on how it is being run. So tugenda kuba tubawuliriza koko tulina bu videos bwe twabafunidde. Probably please enjoy.
Social media enyange mu bintu bingi nnyo naye okusookera ddala enyambye mu ngeri y'okufuna emikwano. Social capital mu kaseera kano eyange Jenina ya waggulu nnyo lwa nsonga alina emikwano mu sectors ez'enjawulo oba mu fields ez'enjawulo. Abayimbi, abakozi b'omu banka, abantu ab'enjawulo mu categories ez'enjawulo gye mikwano emirungi. Social media gyengaseko. Social media enyambye okutumbula ekitone kyange nga content creator lwa nsonga njiiya ebintu eby'enjawulo ne mbiteeka ku TikTok nefuna views ate ne kiviiramu okufuna ssente. Waliwo abantu abajja gyendi ne bangamba nti okusinziira ku namba z'olina ne content w'ogwokola twandyagadde okulaganako naawe somba nnyingi za ssente mu ngeri emu oba endala.
Social media eyambye okucreatinga kyonayita room for reference nti ekintu kyewateekawo oba ekifaananyi oba vidiyo ekyaliwo myaka 5 emabega saawa zino oba osobola okuddamu n'okiraba n'ojjukanya. Kiyambyeko n'okuholdinga government accountable mu ngeri emu oba endala. Tulabye social medias naddala Twitter nga tulina exhibitions ez'enjawulo. Kiyambyeko okubeera nti we get real time updates amawulire mu budde obutuufu naddala nga kati okoseza TikTok okutumbula ebyobulambuzi mu Uganda. Bantu bangi bapostinze ebifo bibanyumira bagezeemu ne basanyukiramu nekisikiriza abalala okugendayo.
Naye erina n'ebibi byeyina ebibi byenjagala okwogerako. Ekisookera ddala okwemanyiiza obeeraawo nga wenna obugumira ogamba kankebereko minute emu kankebere ani ansindikireko message ku WhatsApp kyekiri ku TikTok sawa kyekitambula ku TikTok n'obeera nga obulamu bwo bwonna obutambulizaawo ku social media ate nga wandikweseza obudde okukola ekintu nga kikuwa ku ssente. Katugamba oli mwana omusomi wandikomyewo waka n'owumuza obwongo n'olinda enkya okuddayo ku ssomero naye kati wotuuka waka nemmere n'ogireka ng'oyagala kukebera ebiri kutambula ku social media. Social media tufuna emikwano nga tetugimanyi n'ogimanyi. Oli wano oli n'omuntu temusiganako naye nga mukwano gwo naye twandibadde kyetukola tubeera nga tufuna abantu betumanyi ng'oyogera omusinkana ne mwogera ne mubuilding eyo relationship nga gyeri okusinga okubeera n'omuntu nga tomumanyiko ddala.
Sometimes tusinkana abantu batuwa gigs ez'enjawulo binagamba Jose jangu nangira ebizigo byange ebirungi bikola n'otuuka biranga customer n'agenda n'amugulako n'acomplaining ng'agamba Jose gwandagira ugulewo omuntu ekintu kino kinkoledde kinkoze mubi. Challenges those endala zinsinkanye tusinkana abantu nga tulowooza abantu balungi nnyo lwa nsonga akusindikidde message akugamba alina business yo n'omusinkana ng'alina ebigendererwa birala nnyo ate bitakwatagana nawe bitabe weeyisaamu. Challenges endala zeninza ogamba tusinkanye ku social media abantu abalala bayagala nnyo okuportrayinga insecurities zaabwe kufa ate abalala. Omuntu alengera video yo n'ateekako comment ng'ayagalamu ebikukakanya oba kuwuliza bubi mu ngeri emu oba endala. So social media bw'oba olina ogikozesa weegendereze londamu ebirungi ate n'ebyobere ng'obyebeeramu mu ngeri emu oba.
A lot of trolls came in because of my body. I'm a very small man, tiny man, so a lot of people used to body shame me, and yeah, there's a lot of bullies online. Another challenge is the clients who don't want to pay. In a nutshell.
Lately everyone is like a blogger, vlogger, so they just spread around a lot of information that is not right, and something that people actually don't really tend to think that it's bad. Addiction. A lot of people tend to be addicted. There are apps whereby you could just go to use a certain app and you just want to watch one video. You end up spending about 8 hours the whole day, So you lose a lot of time that you could have used doing other things, just spending it on social media.
In a world where you can create a video and go viral in an instant, people feel this pressure to be known, to be liked. They are seeking validation. So sometimes because they are seeking likes and shares and engagement, they'll create something very offensive, but simply because they think this is what will make them trend. they are unaware of the impact it has on other people's lives. Like someone is behind a keyboard and they think, oh, I can say what I want, but they are not keeping in mind that someone else consuming this information will feel violated or offended, and it can trigger very many issues, including depression. So the pressure to be liked, that social pressure, and also lack of digital literacy, those are the main reasons why people misuse social media.
Wow, those views, you know, those comments. Tulidde okuteesa kw'abantu, tuwulidde comments zaabwe, naye Derek, omulamwa gw'olwaleero nga bwe twatandise tugamba nti social media ebirungi ebibi n'ebyo society byetaddewo nga byetwandirabiddeko about social media ne content creation. Abantu bawulidde endowooza zaabwe, gwe okyogerako ki? First of all, ndowooza tusooke twogere ku birungi oba tusooke twogere ku bibi. Tusooke twogere ku birungi ebiri mu social media. Gwe nga gwe agibaddemu biki?
On the side of a good thing about social media,
Dere tugenda okwogera olugisu wano. Oluganda lwe lwaluganya ogera mu lugisu Derek.
olowooza kinaasoboka.
Kale tugende maaso.
Kuba njagala point evaayo obulungi.
Ng'evaayo bulungi mu Luganda, gwe Oluganda olumanyi luwoomya point. Kale
bajja tunyingira.
Kitegedde. Kale gezaako. Ne bw'osulamu kale bisatu bita naye kale tugende maaso. Okay, ebirungi mu social media. Yeah. Okirowooza ko kibagambye abo abaana?
First, I'll go with this lady's part where I talked about it's related to cyberbullying, because anxiety and a lot of bad things that come because of the social media, the literacy. The funny part is, I don't know whether I might have dumb or stupid friends, but one of them told me sometime that I don't understand the concept of cyberbullying.
Oh wow!
I like you're being bullied. Why can't you just log off, turn off the internet? Well, it in a stupid way it makes sense, but that's not how it works. Yeah. So this thing, like, it consumes many people. Some people
yagamba nti baba kuvuma ku social media. Lwaki tuloginga out nova kodda no esimu nogiteeka ebbali naye ate kitasoboka because newe kubako comments embi obo still ne eriso liba likyegudde ngoya kulaba ndala at least onoonya ennungi for you to feel better. Yeah, okay.
So some people get too much consumed. I don't know, it is not about having a weak mind, but it is just inbuilt, like, as a human, something that catches you deep. So it consumes someone in a way that something that is mentioned online can create them to have a low self-esteem. Someone like body shaming, why then takes on in the real life, goes in the mirror and says, this me, how is this? So that's the biggest thing that I don't understand about social media. Plus it's of course
nange ate munange ngenze nenkiraba nti abantu twakyazaako wano omukyala Honorable Rachel Magola nagamba nti bwe yali nga akola campaigns eyo nga bwagenda ku social media abaana nga bamuvuma ne bamuvuma aba Gen Zs, those young people, and nga bateekayo comments embi about her age, about how she looks like, about this, about that. But then when she went on ground, kalina agenda ku ground nga campaigninga, abaana benyini bali bamuvuma ate nga tebalina kye basobola kwogera nga bamutuukiridde maaso ku maaso, like face to face. Kwegamba nga beekweka emabega w'essimu okuvuma ndo naye ate bw'omusanga in person tasa kigamba. I mean, that's a weak mind, I guess.
It's a real weak, but people find fun in that way. Some people, I don't know, they find it fun that way. It's, I don't know whether that's how they're born or that's how they enjoy their social media. But
olowooza ekyo kiba kirungi? I don't know, can't we do better?
Of course we can do better.
Okay.
Yes. But when you weigh the bad things and the good things, the good outweighs the bad on social media. Yes, like I said earlier, when it comes to social media, a lot of good comes in because a lot of people get like fast information now on that platform, like in a joking way. Then, okay, me personally, I do ground. Okay. I do groundwork. I do digital, but I be on ground most of the times. So you meet this kid. I saw there's a time a girl she's called Pinky. It's a very beautiful girl. Yes, a kid.
Yes, of course. Okay.
So she comes to me, tells me, Uncle Derek, do you know that Spice posted me? I was like, what? Are you sure? Then there's a way it makes someone feel loved and what. So that encouraged her. She started creating her own content.
Okay, that is TikTok. Good. Derek, kankubuza, what is the way forward? Golowooza, what can we do better? Kiki tusobola okuimprovinga ko ne tukikyusaamu okusobola okulaba nti tufuna oba tuganyirwamu mu social media nga just obudakiika obusigadde tugende mu break. Yes.
The biggest thing we can do is we should let people learn. Should let people learn how to use these platforms because they are meant to do good, not meant to do bad. Yes. Okay.
And in that, tubayigiriza tutye? How can we spread that? Like, you know what? Also, what is social media call obulungi tubagambe tutye? Okay. But how can we put it in action?
How we can put it in action? I mean, the concept of teaching most times I'm not, first of all, I'm not a good teacher. So one thing that
maybe we spread more positive content.
Well, yes, but it is also someone's mindset. Because you will still do that. Some will pick, some will not. But in the long run, the spirit of positivity keeps spreading. And spirit of positivity keeps spreading, and in that way, someone gets to learn like, oh, why am I still doing it? Actually, these days there are less of backlashes the way like how it was back in 2019. Okay. People grow up, they knew there is actually what I see there is less from the people that I knew who could do that. They learned how to they go so last time I met a friend called Smith. I asked her, hey, why don't you always post like you used to do? When he goes back into his account, he sees what he was posting that it doesn't suit him anymore.
Okay. Well, Derek, thank you so much. Derek yagamba social media tugikozese kulwa bulungi so si kulwa bubi. Also okukyusa nange n'ogamba nti nze kankyuse mbeeko byenjifunamu ebirungi than okuvuma abantu ne bakwewala ne businesses nga tebasobola kuleetera because olina bad image ey'okuvuma abantu. Yeah, I think that's not the way we should get likes on social media. Tugenda kumulamu katono tukomawo. Yes, baniza nnyo mu kitundu kyaffe ekyokubiri. Derek abadde atuwa endowooza z'aba Gen Zs, abaana abo abato abalina ekyokwogera ekyenjawulo, endowooza zaabwe ku social media, engeri gye bagifunyeemu, biki ebibi social media byezze nabyo, ate n'endowooza zaabwe ku general content creation. Era nga tuwulidde nga bwe tuziwulidde ndoza katusooke tufune view, another perspective from another person, and tuono naye ali mu bintu bya digital era nga ali ne mu content creation ne mu social media management. Erinnya lye Albert Katruguma. Yange yajudde mu kusooka wali. Twagala ye atuwe view ye what he thinks about, abaana bano kye boogedde. naye nga I think so kotuwe kale ndowoozayo kwezo videos. Yes,
so good morning once again. Ndabi beboogedde video ezizanyaawo the Gen Zs, of course social media and Gen Zs are inseparable, tosobola kuba kukyawula. Some were true, some were half true. Some people who were there even know them. I saw Laban, big up Msajja wangoyo. So one, now in Uganda, tuchalina, of course there's a significant growth of social media and internet users regardless of smartphone penetration. Bantu siwanja abayina smartphones, but there is indeed a growth in social media users. One, you've seen the recent stats from UBOS nti abavubuka bangi mu ggwanga lino ate abasinga bali ku internet. So we know that abavubuka comes with bayine biwago bayine fujjo, comes with chaos. So but then there is a good part about that. The internet, one, social media yonga yo mu bavubuka ezene ebirungi bingi, a lot of opportunities. Of course social media marketing. You realize every time you wake up and open your smartphone, there is a muvubuka selling something on their phone, probably a shoe, a perfume, a dress. And these kids actually bafuna sente, really earn this money. Then of course things to do with entertainment. You've seen TikTokers turn influencers. Banawana actually bafunira sente that is serious. At my agency we work with a couple of the big influencers you see in the country, and if I told you what we pay some of them, you may not believe it, especially the TikTokers. So this has also spoken to entertainment and of course news. Buli ali ayine simu ye nga bamunene ku TikTok, even those who are not big, they are there on NTV. News is probably around 15 minutes. All of us can't come here and anchor news, but bibabeereeyo basobola ku influencing conversation, influence songs. These days music comes from TikTok, kanamwete munamuzanya. So there's then of course education as well, but then that also comes with bad things. Social media is really good. Abantu bamufunyemu businesses, people are making money, people are learning, people are getting entertained, but still that comes with a couple of not so good things. Of course there's addiction. Abazadde abalina abaana ng'omwana buli ssaawa ali ku simu, they don't want to do anything at home. People dating, they're home or is on their phones, they're in bed on their phones. That probably affects. Then also, like we've spoken to hate speech, you've seen TikTokers say things about the president, they do get arrested. Ngabi nagambye abavubuka ne fujjo comes with the clout with numbers. I've spoken about hate speech, of course fake news, ebiri, social media, some of them are not right. The fact that there's news out there that, for example, if you guys are going to anchor news later at 7, you'd realize bobali babitemye all through the day. You're probably doing a recap, but then that comes with a lot of misinformation later in earlier in the day. So yes, they're really good things, like he said before he left. The good things surpass the bad things. So it's upon the Gen Zs,
of course,
the fact that it's now Gen Z and then from what you've seen, our neighbor scenes again done by Nzokunona. So Gen Zs are so we just need to of course empower them on how correctly to use these platforms, how they can earn from them.
Nze nkisanga nga omulimo gwo gulinga omutono naye munene ogw'okubayigiriza engeri gye basobola okufunamu so si kugenda makomera nga basibye maybe nga boogedde ebintu bye batalina kwogera oba nga balina omuntu gubalumbye omunene maybe ne babasiba ate obulamu bwaba ati nga ate akyali muto. So much things you can do with social media n'ogifunamu bulungi nnyo. Sente nga bw'onyonyodde nti mubasasula sente esobola okubeezaawo omuvubuka n'ateenyigira ate ebintu birala byakuvuma byakumenya mateeka nga bakosa omutimbagano. Yes, kati ndoza nga tuzzeeyo ku content creation, Albert. Golowooza qualities eza good content zandibadde zitya ku muntu ali eyo ewaka tulaba naganze njaga kutandika creating a content nafuna idea ye nagamba nze ngenda tanga creating a content ku I don't know ku nyimba oba ku kintu kyonna kyandibadde ki ekyo kubeera nga kirungi.
First and foremost, everyone can't be a content creator. And this is not to kuba malamu amaanyi, but if you think you can be one, content can even start from you having your own smartphone. Like I've told you, there are kids nga talina waayina dduuka naye ng'akola ssente okusinga someone ali mu kikubo ayina edduuka waali. So in content marketing, one, tubisoma oba tubiyiga. Content marketing is self-taught. Most of the content creators we have in this industry that are so good, if you listen to them, they self-taught themselves, or they learned from someone, they amplify their own from research on the internet. Even some of these platforms have, if you open your Instagram right now, you'll see how to make reels, how to make a reel of a cocktail, how to make a reel of a meal, you get. So some of these things are really self-taught, but then goes back to, do you actually love to do content creation? Because the fact is, there's money in content creation. These people paid very good money. So do you love it in the first place? Yes. Are you willing to learn? Yes. Do you know the right people to learn from? Of course, mwe tulifa abali mu industry abagezezaako okuuplifting abavubuka bano tukole nabo, abamu batumanyi najja nakubuuza, they come to your inbox, especially on Twitter. I think I get 2 DMs every day asking me, how can I do this? How can I be a part of your team? How can I talk to probably Nyaika or Gio to learn how they do what they do? But then, like I said, it starts from what you have, even just a smartphone. There's some content you probably see online, and it's just a gimbal or and a smartphone and some little lights
there,
and some little training and research here and there from these very platforms. These very platforms have content that can teach you how best you can utilize these platforms content-wise.
Okay. Nga otuwadde qualities content. First of all, olina okuba nga okyagala omulabi waffe omulungi. Then mu creating a content oyo oteekayo obudde, oteekayo research, ebintu ebyo oteekayo biri authentic, you know. Omuntu asobola obbiyimira kunaga nti okay, I'm inspired by your content. Then
on authentic, and that comes back to the trust. Ngabe nkugambye nti waliyo abaana abatunda ebintu online. There's a big economy down there. But then how do you deliver after someone has seen what you sell and how it gets to them and what actually gets to them? Bwongamba nti otunda engatto bwetyo oba dress bwetyo netukanga siche ndabye obanga the quality isn't as good as you posted it, or I've ordered it today, is what we call turnaround time, in how long has it gotten to me. That speaks to, let's not speak to only the Gen Zs, even the companies. You've seen people complain online, I ordered food here and there, it came pizzeria upside down, or the guy, I ordered at 8, the guy came at 1. So that also speaks to how effective and how many people will come back and support your content or support what you sell using content marketing.
Okay. Albert, ekyo kyogeddeko and these days abantu abasinga obungi kati tebalina na maduuka, tebalina we basangibwa. Waliwo strictly online shopping, strictly online delivery, ebityo. Naye obuzibu obumenyeeko nti omuntu asobola ofuna product ngate siyeyo gye orderinze, naye ate obuzibu obulala obuli mu ekyo ekyokubanga omuntu talina wasangibwa but ebintu biri online, tubulira obuzibu like obulala obuli mu ekyo. Because nayo ebisinga kati biri it's online really. That's
of course ebizibu byenjogeddeko scamming. That's also the bad thing about social media. Some people have been scammed online. You've seen them. Actually, some have even scammed on a very large scale. Oli naagula emmotoka million asatu ne bamufera. Tulabye bano bebafeze nti ngatto, but people are getting scammed through online marketing or content marketing at larger scale. So there's a lot of scamming, which we may not be able to fight me myself now, because scamming is a very big industry, not just in Uganda. Then also, I think it's mainly scamming, online and scamming. So you just have to be careful as you support these content creators or people that sell through content, how authentic they are, their ratings, the recommendations from your friends. For example, if a friend tells you, I bought my dress from this person, you could go ahead and ask, how did it go? How is it? Then you can, of course, carry on in the same way. But there's a lot of scamming in online online marketing. People that tell you, send money before I send the product, then you'll never see the product. So it's a lot of scamming in there.
Okay. Wachi wasala no concentrating on X, not any other media platforms?
Well, I'll give you a brief background. How I started this. So I started getting interest in digital around 6 years ago. I was in university, I was in MUBS, Nakawa. I started also as an influencer, a small influencer, as doing work with some of the breweries in town. Of course, like any other youth at campus, you have your phone.
When I be demoting program ya Luganda,
vubuka, oli ku university, oli ku hustle, oli ku institute, nga wetaga yo sente, kule chikomando, you have a phone, or in internet, and you think you have some digital in your head. So I started as a small influencer. Usually you say you nga tebatu wana sente, but what ticket? What ticket, what they even tell you, they'll give you drinks. And by then, as a university student, that's good enough. You're free on a Saturday, someone has told you, come to Gulu, I'll give you a ticket and a bottle of this and this and transport and food. You would go. So I started out, some guy called Don. I'm not saying it's him that was giving me that work, but that's part of the journey. Of the journey. Then shortly after university, of course, I began what we call gigs. One execution, how well I would do that work, would give me bigger work, to the fact that right now I even work with embassies. I've done some work with the French embassy, some work with the US embassy. So then as I grew through digital, still at campus, during my last year, I joined an agency in town called the Pearl Guide. The guys were doing the restaurant week, that just ended last week. So there now I nezura. Actually, I think I'm really good at this. Of course, work kept coming in. Ngambikola bulungi, ngambikugambye good work gets you the next. Then that's when I started my own agency, which is Ivers. So very interesting. Of course, what's going to happen? What if it fails? What if it doesn't work out? Never and this guy quit to start this. But then out of the good work, like I've told you, I got my first work out of Uganda. That was in Addis in Ethiopia. It was because our agency has niched in 3 things or 2. That's behavior change, things to do with climate change, food security, HIV, of course, girls and gender-based violence. So that it was work to do with food security, agroecology. So it was in Ethiopia, and I flew out a team of around 5 people. So of course some even it was their first time to be on a plane. So now that got me wondering. I was like, man, I woke up and thought I could start out this thing, and 5 of these, 3 of these were influencers. Of course, our Ugandan market not so many influencers have done work outside Uganda. So that was quite interesting to my journey when I did that in Ethiopia. And again, I said, when you execute something very well, then that got us to do work in West Africa.
Okay.
Cameroon and Benin. And then the other 5 countries in East Africa and Southern Africa. Then, of course, also in UAE. Okay. So that's when I got to realize, I think in calling yang.
So project emwe je wakola wagikola bulungi nnyo n'ofunirako ebira abala ne batandika okukubira amasimu.
Not even your internal, jola wange nini, even the small ones, like I've told you, I've started with. My first big check. It was small money, but zinasoko kwata from influencer marketing was actually at this hotel. It was a conference, I think, in Nile Hall. Even NTV was a partner. It was a conference to do with road safety. They gave me money, well, like 300K. I was like, Ntwala Asatu, just to get my phone and post things.
Yes.
So, man. And that was around, I was still in university. That was around 5 years ago. I was doing my second course in MOBS. I did 2 courses there.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then to the Bavuboka out there, like the government and maybe our parents or your guardians think social media is a platform for spreading hate speech. We've worked with clients, even some big people you see in this country, and you're trying to pitch to them an idea, and they have no idea about what happens with social media. Because every time they open TikTok, alaba pressure inagwatwala, chicken inagwatwala. So, but then we've tried to make them understand, like, hey, look here, you can grow a platform, you can grow an audience, and even have personal advertisers. Walaba Bakasuku, he probably has more advertisers than some media houses. So we try to empower these youths and tell them, hey, of course, government, yo egezeza no kuleta policies, maybe to regulate some platforms or even phase out some at all. They tried it with Facebook. But that shouldn't be a way to go in a country that people don't have jobs. Bantu ba surviving wano kuiriba. So if there's such avenues like social media that kids or Gen Zs can get some money to do, not again like street kuba, you have no reason to these kids to be on these platforms. Regardless that but that doesn't mean all businesses have the dirty sides of it. So you don't have to block these platforms, because these kids in markets like Kenya, you'd look at how big the influencer market is.
It is.
Influencer alivinga large ngabula bebe kulwa.
Yes.
Ninga just influencer akwataga na mazina aga postinga, does something with it and earns as much as a musician. And we can see that come to Uganda. Of course, we work closely with government and these brands also. So the sky is the limit.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Mbadde omulabi waffe akitegeereko nti wagezako okumanaginga mungi oba okumanaginga
Munji is my very good friend. Then also, I'm friends with a couple of artists. Of course, I don't know how that comes about, but I find myself friends with them, and I think it goes to maybe the sense of humor, how I support them. Of course, me and Munji worked on a song called Chisati Masavu. Of course, it was a very big wave of Chisati, everyone was wearing a chisati. I think even the politicians. I think it was just another wave on social media that I think I influenced. I don't know, the viewers can tell us. So, yeah, but I wasn't a manager. But he's my very good friend, and between me and the viewers and you, we have a lot of music coming up.
With Munji?
No, with Munji.
With a couple of artists?
No, not me singing. I'm saying with Munji. There's a project, Zijao Maso. And you'll see me a lot fronting them. Please listen.
Okay, great. Katika tumulemu katono nange bali mwasuubiza ekisaati naye
nchina mu motoka.
Amina neyanza. Katumulemu katono tukoma.
Dale.
Ekitundu kyakusatu era weebale nnyo okwekumira wano ku NTV ne Spark TV. Ndine Albert Katruguma era nga mukugu nnyo mu bino omulamwa gwaffe gwe tugerako olunaku olwaleero. Ono omulamu ogwo social media ne content creation era nga abantu bangi nnyo bafunye mu social media n'abo abatabitegeera bulungi nnyo okugamba bapikinze app ne bagamba nti nange kanneeyunge ku guno omulembe neeyongereyo ndabe nti ngukozesaamu okufuna ebirungi nga Albert wadde abinyonyola. Albert, nkulaba okozesa kalisizo okikozesa nnyo kwekine ku ex-bio awaawo gyova?
Kalisizo y'amaanyi nnyo tesoboka singa ne Kampala. Anyway, so it's quite interesting. So bazadde bange banyankole babazaala Mbarara, but I was raised in the central region. Nakuzibwa Masaka. Most of my education, most of my growing was in Masaka. That's why that's why I relate a lot with Gazalandi, Abantu Bawansi, then Never Elite, this side of what they call uptown. So my parents moved to Uganda region for work. Then they had me
while they were here.
But then they're now back in Mbarara. But then we still have property and this side. So, but my biggest part of growing was in Kalisizo. Era Kalisizo nga bali mukulaba muli bamaanyi nnyo.
Odeno bakyalira koko
nnyo. So yeah, so that's how I end up. Abasinga bambuuza ng'omanyi Oluganda olumanyi, how do you do it? They expect my accent
erimu
gumasomu. So yeah, that's the story.
Abekalizo tubalamusizaako nnyo.
Abantu bamaanyi
n'abantu abamu bakuyita the plug. Raymond Reddington.
Ekyo kintambi kimpeka ne message wano kiri mu kulaba.
So kitegeeza biki ebyo bakutuuma ebyo?
Plug, that thing. Okay, they call me a gig plug. Why? Of course, I'm not a guy again okuwa buli kyoyagala wano e Kampala, but still I know a couple of guys. I could easily get you what you need, or if I don't, I know someone who could get you to
connect the person too.
Not per se connected. Agenda gama nimba. So. Gig plugs, as you said, gigs in in our digital world we call them gigs. For example, if you get a brand, a bank or a brewery, an insurance company, a radio station that needs influencers, luckily enough, I don't know what comes to their mind first is me. Not to work with them, but to
find a solution.
Find people who could, the perfect people to work for them. So, kasi that process of okubanoonya, they call me, in our Gen Z of social media, we call it a plug. So that's why they call me a gig plug. Ntambi's story yo mpanvu yu twaliyo ne bakasuku ne donzera nabo nyina bina bafunira kati ne kijja ne kigamba mbu nze Reddington kati everyone social media on TikTok. Abantu masanga mu mabaala bampita Reddington. I'm not Reddington. Kyabagamba nyina ne mundu sebo. kirenze ekyo ntambi balukeza.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, so nga tuzzeeyo wali ku social media, soko tusigiremu ekifaananyi right now ekya mainstream okwawukanako ne social media. Saidi ki abantu gye basinza okwekumirako okufuna information?
One, so many people say something which I think is kind of unguided. Mbu social media lumu tujja kukeera ng'ejjeewo mainstream. Nga TikTok ejjeewo NTV. That's not possible. Ne muziri ensi ez'ebweru gye byasookera, even the newspaper abantu bakyagasoma, even in New York, even in LA, but they can coexist. But then that doesn't phase out the fact that social media is actually having a lot of influence on mainstream. A lot of influence. Ngabe nakugambye the fact that ebintu byakyuse nti kati ne TV kati amawulire kati bagajjeeri, trends bazijjeeri. You would see that if you look at now kati media houses zina TikTok pages, namwe presenter mwina pages, bumukeera namwe ne muzina amazina agali ku TikTok. So that effect is not there. Sorry, that effect is there, but you can't tell me that we'll wake up one day and social media has phased out mainstream. Mainstream still has that trust that if I wake up and Chamagero reads something on live at live at 9, it has that believability than ekyalumbuye obecha dini sava.
Okay.
So there's that influence that social media has on mainstream, but I do not think it will ever wake up when there are no television stations. First of all, internet usage wansi. The number of users in Uganda and per se in Africa wakyali wansi. Even the smartphone penetration ekyali wansi. Waliyo omwana yeeyo ekalisizo, for example, nga tamanyi nakozesa smartphone naye nga ali mu myaka gy'omulala ali e Kampala, ali very good at it. Ng'oli ye their source of information, news is the TV station. So I think that's means what chikwanaganya.
Okay. Omuvubuka eyandisasudde kangeze the smallest package emitwalo 3 for a month okulaba Go TV, DSTV, Star Times, whatever. No agamba nti data kasitambira ne data awo zibyange babiwedde. So kutuulire koko where does
like I said, the influence. For example, if you get out nogena straight out Serena, nobuuza omuvubuka omukoomu, have you listened to radio kuva ku makyaleero, or have you watched TV? They'll tell you no. But then ask them, have you opened any of the social media apps? Okay, they'll tell you unzana musanga atambula nenga ali kusimu anyiga bagenda namutomera. So then also chogame cha data, of course data chali wa bei, then also ne abantu bafawatwa data, the ISPs sijabogera manya. If you wake up and open Twitter or Facebook, with people complaining data wa bei ate ali slow. Okay, but then chenkugambye nti social media and the mainstream nti omuntu ne baba ataddeko TV abeko kyalaba 80% of the time or 90% ate aba ku simu.
Right.
You see, ku social media. So that's why you're seeing most of these brands bamovinga obulango bwabwe from mainstream n'abo aba influencer, because let's say you're trying to reach abavubuka bagule engato oba soda, you'd rather find them gye bali okusinga nti tebalaba TV. Eri abantu abalina TV nga talina na decoder nga abeera ku Netflix. The only thing they use the TV for is to stream maybe a match or watch Netflix or watch YouTube. So the fact is nti waliyo abantu abatalaba TV totally. Nombuza, when did you last watch news? Nagamba sijjukira. but nenga ku
ngalaba live ku YouTube.
Exactly. For example, NTV is really good with NTV
streamlining on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yes.
So they would rather go to YouTube, put in NTV and watch NTV from YouTube than. But then it's good that bano mainstream namwe mwagezi wadde and you're moving this side. So and then that's quite promising. To mukirabe kijja and you're trying to mitigate and maybe be a part, adopt.
Okay. Oh, inacho yogede konti ni companies mshocha kuwa akalango kangeze TVM ikazanye bagenda wa TikTok influencer and all. But njagala otusigire kifananyo okumulaiwa fali eyo. But sibuli inti influencer bwomuwa product oba service agirange nti kijja kubeera automatic abaguzi bajja kujja because nalabako business emu omuntu yawa influencer nagamba nti nterangayo bajogerenga kuba giteeke wano I don't know what the thing is called wano content agenda maaso then eno nga badaga naye nga gamba sifunangayo customer n'omu ate nga influencer ina following nene aina kinenga sinajiwulira effect nti aba customer bajja n'obabuze wawulidde just nze mbadde epitaita n'endaba n'engula.
Okay, now one that speaks to the quality of content, but then oli gwokiwadde how good are they and akitunza atya. For example, tewali muntu ajja ku TikTok kugula ngatto. No one opens their Facebook to buy kuuka.
Right.
But they'll be sold into buying that product from how good, because oli baba ayita musimu ye abaze kuseka gwenga atunda you tap into that. So how convincing that influencer is, or the believability, or oli ajja kugamba nti nze ankomo bwagamba batunda kino nja kukigula. Okay? So now that comes back to us, the agencies. If people want to sell things, you can reach out to us. We know who can sell what very well, okay, and how good they can create the content. It's not about manually influencer enough following, and then also these things are not about following. Ntera nyo kuchogera nti abamu bayina following as zili fake.
Yes.
So we go back to the quality of content and then the conversion as you've mentioned nti zokuwa influence ekintu and then nekitagulwa.
Yeah.
That also is possible.
Yeah.
Kinzo mange ekintu kyo kibi. Nga so sorry. Nga tewali agenda kwagala kukigula. Balole infajja kugamba nze man. Leta nze nkole. Of course, for matters of visibility, bajja kukiraba. Wajja kulaga nti abantu emitwalo 2 balabye ekintu kyonna nga tejja kukubidde essimu.
Natwala ne views ezimu nga ziri fake.
Exactly. But then it comes back to the kind of influencers you use, how well they create this content, and then are they speaking to the right audience gyoyagala okuguza. Nti be manjagala okuguza abavubuka Fanta. Abana Fanta abamasomero. Abana bo balaba. If you go home, oba yino mwana omukulu look at their TikTok. Bani be balaba ba dancer abo ba Ivo bani. So if you're trying to sell to that kid and then you give no kwesa influencer ayogera ne n'abagagga kwagalana. So these kids you're trying to target won't see tebajala bacho. So you get it. So it speaks to what are you trying to sell, and is the person you've hired to sell or balaba on the daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Waliwo okay. Webale Krecho. Waliwo omuntu ayogeddeko n'agamba nti sometimes babawa products to market them. Naye ate zino products nezibeera harmful to the body or to someone's health, oba obutabeera harmful nezibeera fake products. Naye kati influencer ate yakisasulira sometimes. And abantu abasinga bagamba nti no nze kasito kiranga nja kigula. Kati trust ebeera mu alanga oba product.
Both ways. Both ways. But also nga betwogedde ku regulations things, people like UNBS, and then I really don't know how the government can intervene in there and try to regulate some of these products that get sold. Nti duka eririawo government erina possibility ogenda negamba oguza abantu omugaati guzitowa kiremu nga bw'okyogera, you get. So for online marketing, some of what these people sell are not regulated or up to the standard. So that kati government ingene egezaako in quotes maybe okulwanyisa social media ate gitwetaaga okuregulatinga some of these processes. Nti oli bwanguze engatto ku online nemala nevaako sola enkya, who has to answer for that? But then if the assumption is nti bengenda eri wansi mu kikuubo engatte eziriyo ziba ziyise mu URA, ziyise mu UNBS, era nsobola okuddayo and I claim. Of course abamu bo bennyini abalina amaduuka ago bazijjeeyo ne bazitunda online, but those rare cases of the products which aren't up to standard in this online marketing thing, who is answerable to that? Who is regulating that? Should be the government. Within the same government that we think is trying to maybe kunyiga these platforms.
Waliwo ate influencer ajja okutwala buli kimu kye bamuleetera Albert. Bamuleetera ebintu products ezitalina ku mutindo ye ng'atwala butwazi olwe ssente. Should the influencers also okubeeramu neeyo nti is it worth it? Is it kiri kitya kirungi?
I've spoken about that and it kind of got me into trouble sometime, what we call niche. Some of these good influencers have become good and have put a price on themselves because they niched a field. You can't sell everything. Platform teza kubeera ku machange eriko engatto, Akawungeezi neriko abatunda omuchere, Akawungeezi eriko abatunda different things, kuliko bank, kuliko wigs. No, it's not a bad thing, but there's something that comes with okubanga olonze field. Nti bemba njagala to speak of banking, I'll call Albert. And zonna zanansaba nja zimuwa. Because I know in that field of banking, bamuwuliriza. Naye bw'obanga buli kye bakuwa tunda, buli kye bakuwa tunda. Because also, if bontunze ekintu ekifu, sijja kunenya nnyo oli akimpadde, nja gamba gundi yakipostinga gwe nakirabirako, era bwe bangenda okunenya nsooka nayo influencer nti yo wapostinga omuntu anguze essimu nagiguze ntaddemu charge essimu neyaka omuliro. So tetwetaagisa kutwala buli mu mulimu guzze. Nawe kenyini nga influencer, you can first try these products. Okay? Nti oli baba alese
ebizigo
yatunda laptop before ogamba, because these people, we take it for granted. Never na abantu batuwuliriza nnyo, by the way. They believe in us. Nti bw'omugamba nti genda ogule kino ajja kukigula. But then bwakiba kifu ajja kuba disappointed in you. So it's on you as the influencer or the content marketer to first test the product. Abamu tubibawo bibawa na kitunda nga akyambadde nga olitagamba bugambi nti
ngulene t-shirt
ninga najambala nefuka ye, oba buy this insurance policy from a company or open up this account from a bank, open the account, use the bank, then let's have your experience. Bwebambi, there are even some influencers are very nayogera amazima nti kino nakikozesa kyabadde kibi. Though, abasinga of course.
Je bali bold we batyo?
Then kisobola.
You're Albert Katrugu.
Tokola bintu ebyo stera.
People are not bold, Albert. And bagala sente. They'll keep on praising it.
But me, I can do it. And then I hope everyone can be bold to do that. But you can first talk to the client. Or of course abasinga ajja kulowooza nti competitor akusasudde okube kino, but please sell quality products and services. as the service provider, as the client, as the influencer, because bano asembayo omuntu wa wansi ajja kunenya mwenna.
Abantu bano ba influencers babasasula sometimes baba beetaaga content nga ali ku mutindo, otaddemu editing, otaddemu effects, otaddemu ki engoye zoyambala makeup goteekako ng'ogenda okukola content oyo oteekamu kingi nnyo naye ate oluusi client n'akusasula nga tezituukiridde bulungi.
It goes back to negotiating and refusing.
There's no.
Kati watu olina nno bajja kukozesa. If you get to a point of saying nti ze Stella client azza ngambye nsaba marketing nyina bondi y'emmotoka olina TikTok presence nkuwa sente bweziti mumugamba nze what it costs me to create content is this kati eyo njiganye okitegeera. It will be the moment you get to the point of saying not to work, it mu industry n'abakubira amasimu abagenda okumalira obudde bakendeera nti Stella acharginga bwati, so oli agenda okujja ewuwo ng'amanyi ky'ocharginga, and then if they pay that money it's worth. So influencer muyiga okugaana gigs. Olaba nti sente zibakuwa ntono oba it will affect, for example kati wano wetulaga mu kalulu wano you're going to be tempted a lot. This upcoming election is going to be run a lot on social media. A lot of money is going to come into play. Bakugambe vumono, posting ekifaananyi kyono, mugereko kino. But then after the kalulu, what's going to happen? Because the kalulu period is like maybe a year or something, but ojja kuvuma omuntu bakuwe sente ojja kuzirya, but then after no client would want maybe a bank to come and associate with someone nga bakulabye walado ovuma omuntu. Then also some of these people, because with numbers comes clout. Oli bwalaba nga alina bafollower abali genuine tugambe million oba emitwalo meka asobola ovuma buli gwasanze. But some of these decision makers in the boardrooms bo tebalina following ate be ba boss. Ayinza obanga alina followers nga 2 nga ne ku profile picture alina ko just ekinyonyi tomanyi nti byani nabako kyakugamba ekitakiziganya nekikyo n'omuddamu n'omuvuma ekigambo ekibi. So as we've seen incidences that we go in these boardrooms talk to these clients n'omuwa list y'aba influencers nakugamba ono mujjeemu yanvuma kati ate ye kati nga influencer tasobola kujjukira buli mumu gwavumye naye yoyo gwavumye oba is the marketing manager of the bank or yajja kijjukira nti this person abused me ate nga sina kye mukoze, you get. So then there's also those etiquettes that come with our work. The numbers comes with clout. So many people will reach out to you nagamba I want to do a campaign to obono ali mukulwana no depositinga bino gambe yakoze bino. Some even go ahead na kuwa posting up ayagala oziteekeyo about, but just don't do that. I know it's coming, it's probably it has started, but by the end of the last quarter of this year kigenda bakitandise nga bana byabufuzi batandise okuleeta sente, but be very very careful. Very careful, because how will that taint your presence after the election? Ono govumidde yajagena in parliament over, but then it's the business gyalesa yononye sene tuzeetaaga naye ezimu kanako.
Okay. Albert, nga abantu bali ku mainstream bagoberera ebigenda maaso waliwo nkiyite seriousness they attach to certain organizations and brands nga bwe bakulaba ku TikTok ng'ate olina ekintu ekyobuvunaanyizibwa kyokola tebakutwala serious. Where is the limit?
The fact is abantu bakola ebiri serious, bantu balina ebizibu. People are stressed, people tebalina sente, people have mental health issues, people just have problems. No one comes to social media to find serious things. So some of these things we do, we try to make them a bit comical. If you're educating people about tax or climate change, no one comes to a platform no. They come to get relieved from the stress they probably had from work. But then also, ngabe gamenti influence ya social media is a mainstream. Nti mwagala temwagala. Mujja kuzina amazina ga TikTok agulwa mpaka. Because that's where the industry is headed. Era ne bokebera TikToks za CNN, ba MSNBC. Aba abantu bola those big BBC no but bayina watu batandika okuzina
ngoluzeninga app katini no gati manye just losing up it's
abantu tebagala nnyo biri serious bisawa. Of course they start what do you know about the line you can't kati gwenga gwe manya brand you that goes to you the person. How far do you think you can't go or can't go? Nti wabanga baliyo TikTok trendy zino zenda mwala nazina TikTok ne trending nnyo nga it's a big trend nti mwala nazina ne mala ne shiftinga ingo nizivako. I know you've seen those.
Yes.
So it'd be like in Timinga Stella, I love trends but I want to do that.
See, now that's
so now you have to, but then wali abamunga you know chikola the audience
toke tumulem Albert wangu yo this audience tukenda kumna mkatono tovao. Nkaniza nnyo mukitundu kyaffe ekisembayo eddakiika 32 ezakaita ku ssaawa 4 ez'okumakya. Tulina Albert Katruguma era nga twogera ku mulembe guno omupya, mulembe gwa social media ne content creation. Albert, obadde okyatunyonyola ku kintu kya brand omuntu gya presentinga n'okubuuka ku trends, buli trend ejja gwe n'ogikola n'okola challenge n'okola challenge eri. Limitation eriwa? Wow, tulina wokoma abade tulina tugendera buli kimu
tulinawo like I was saying nti omuntu wa yandikomye watandikomye, and then ngabe nakugambye what market have you niched. Some of these trends are actually okay for some audiences and some influencers or personnels. Gwenzo okulowooza nti okwambala bikini kugwe you can't go that extreme. But there are people influencing for brands like Fenty, is a Zavariana, and they're paid highly and they can do that. Asobola kwambala engoye transition in engoye nezivaako nasigala mu komunda, and that's their brand. It's
and
okay for them. But then you are still like you can't do it because you think there's an extreme. Even us as we get witty, some people think I'm funny on Twitter, but there are things I can't say and can't do. And there are things I see people post no gamba ku internet. Even some posts they can give you to post, you're like, I can't post that. Some can be maybe ngazivuma ziri. Nobody are speaking about topics I don't stand for, opinions I don't stand for. So now this comes back to what are your principles as an influencer, and that determines how extreme you can go. And then what do you want? Chichicho yagala. Buluma ina bya yagala munsi. Sinti buli majja ku internet kufuka influencer. Bino twogera ku influencer marketing. Ulejja kujja posting ekintu nga kibi. Ngaye kyayagala. Aina byako yesentazagala mu internet. So we are speaking to those who want to be in this business. Then putting into consideration ababali eyo nga yajja ku internet for violence, ntalo yetazze kukola sente ku internet. Those you can't dictate what they should post or not. Ajja kubuza simu yo data wo you get.
We're going to principles of influencers to work with tips kwa bagalo kubera ngagwe nga chili clean and professional.
Oba how if I speak to how I've done this, but anyway, like I've already said on a couple of interviews, stay real. For example, what people see online, you know, the brands we build online are not that in real life, okay? For a person like me, what you see online, I think is if we met on the street or at a hotel or in a lobby, that's what you still get. And then that also gives us some bit of believability and attachment to our audiences, okay? Olibabanga chalaba ku internet nakusanga mu jam nakubire ngombe no gano muddamu ngamba ayo guy yeraga lwakuba is big on Twitter and stuff. So just stay humble, and then humility. Then also be teachable. Digital and social media is so agile. How do I say agility in Uganda? It's so dynamic. For example, a trend today, or something could be a thing on Twitter today, and the next Friday it's not. So there's that change with digital and social media, so that quick change. So you need to be always up on your game in this digital marketing work. Then also, you'll never sit in a class and they teach you these things. No university is going to be like today we are studying influencers. I do not think maybe for so some of these things are self-taught and some are taught online. There are online courses with Google, with Facebook, that you can teach yourself. People can reach out to me. I have a couple of, and some of them are free. Some of them are free, some of them are $10. $10 is like how much? That's money people go to chat down and drink. Yes. So some of these things are teachable and even TikTok itself, even YouTube itself. I was telling someone YouTube and Wikipedia are the best teacher. Everything you want is on there. Not even digital marketing. Anyone in every field. So most of these things we took tubyesomesa oni tuyigira ne kuba naffe bitutamanyi.
Okay, Albert, I think tulina obuddakiika butono naye tusooke tukwate ku nsonga ya mental health. Ndaba abana ku social media ng'oli recordings nga kaaba amaziga mayitirivu ayina embeera gy'ayitamu, and instead of the audience sympathizing naye ate ne bamuvuma, so ate nekyongera ku bizibu by'alina ye nga ye. So
mental health on social media is one of the bad things, like I mentioned earlier. One, that comes as a result of things like cyberbullying, or mwana na posting ekifaananyi omuwala ne bamugamba ofaanana bwoti oba omulenzi oba olina posting ekintu kye oli ne bakivuma. Then also comparing yourselves with other people, maybe your old boys, OGs wasoma nabo ngola posting ebifaananyi ku social media, nogamba omugayi nasoma naye afalibo bati nganje siribo batyo. You get, there's that mental health, that mental thing that comes with if you relate yourself, compare yourself to some people on social media. You're posting sibibali.
Yeah, they're not real.
They filters abona suffering is serious, but they show you that because they want you to believe that. Even some of these influencers are actually broke.
And they want you to feel bad about yourself.
Exactly. Some of them are given gigs to market cars, which is not a bad thing. But I know jitulamu ajivuge benge iye. Kati wona musanga ku border, ile basanga ku border nakwe bifaananyi nsanze gundi zanze Albert ku border. Obona kusanga oyimiridde ku Rolex stand. I can't buy a Rolex if I can't afford maybe CJs or what. Nekyo nekifuka ekizibu. So now Chetu, what we are doing now with some of these clients we have, even with the Ministry of Health, our campaign is to sensitize people about mental health. Of course, now cyberbullying kizibu kya controllinga. Still omuntu abata kwagala ajja kuvumira ne mu fake account.
Naye bajiggala ajja kugula wenda.
Ayinza nokuba kyaliwo. Nga guy in production now.
Yes, that's true.
Nga just changing his account na kuvuma still. So of course we just try to sensitize these people. Tovuma temuba bakambwe nnyo ku internet. then the campaigns with mental, well, you need campaigns, Jesus, mental health month. People come and give their lived stories. Abantu betta.
Yeah.
Eri abali nga ali kumpi kwetta social media. Nina ayambibwa abasinga balaba those therapists. Some even come and abamu, if you can afford the therapist, you can go to them. Though babay. So, but those who can afford, go to them.
Okay.
Those who can't, of course, there are tips. They schedule those campaigns to combat mental health issues, but things are real out there. Abana bettira ddala serious people. Abamu ne bafuuka addicts of pornography, alcohol, weed, and some of those uptown cool kids. Bobanywa nebiragala ebyate ebibye ennyo, because we see them. But then all that probably sometimes comes with mental health every day. It's not that social media can mental health but, problems, but then it's also a cause somehow, somewhere.
Okay. Kale, udachika ufobusayi buweddeweddeyoko naye anything choyagala okwenfasize nga muzine dachika esembayo Albert ku content creators ne social media naddala ebintu byetukopye kuva eri netubireeta eno
ebisinga tubyogedde naye of course if I'll ever get time and come back here tujja kugezaako okubyogera okusingawo naye okopa tukopye nabo batukopye so you can't own trends. All trend ejokuva eri ne mutandika trending everyday wa Chris Brown. Naffe wali ebivudde eno tulina
Ozambe
Tenge is trending in Dubai.
Yes.
He's bagging good money in Dubai. So that's a trend that came from Kampala here. We have Ozambe here. This is Nairobi doing big things. So but tukopa naffe tubakopa. Again, like I said, gwenga gwe omuntu, you choose what to copy. Oyagala kopa ebirungi oba ebibi. Okopa bibi bijja kuviramu ebibi. Okopa birungi, you'll get good things from it. So social media and the internet is a pool of very good and very bad things. You just pick a side. For ababi baddemu, abali in the business, will guide you, but then you'll choose the side to take.
Okay.
There's bad things like pornography, bad music, bad whatever. If you choose, we tell you do not choose that direction.
Yeah.
If you choose that, you'll echinavamu kyekino. Okay? So n'ekirungi kyekino, kinavamu kyekino. Then netukulekera ebisigadde. Yeah.
Okay. But abantu abalowooza nti no bwobeera ku social media you can't be traced. Newe okola ebintu ebibi n'okola kino okola ki tebasobola kusanga. Gavumenti esobola ku arrestinga, tesobola kola bweti. Tubalabyeku munenga wabasibye ate abaana abato.
No, let me tell you something. It's not that I know government very well, but I think a state has, they have enough apparatus to get you. They'll find you. Kalinga abana abavugira ne bavuma ngaloza to bakufuna, somehow they'll get you. It's not that nti abantu bagala tubateekemu okutya. I think do not be extreme while you attack these politicians. You can never know how extreme they can go. You can never know how that would affect you and your family or ina mama o
n'omuntu wa bulijjo actually.
Eriyo n'abevumaawo.
Yes, omuntu wa bulijjo n'akusanga.
Yeah. Nga toli politician nenga buli kyoteeka yakuvuma.
Yes.
The government has put up laws, or trying to put more laws to regulate that. Those Computer Misuse Acts. Nti omuntu olina osobola omuloopa.
Yes.
Ne amateeka negamukolako. But then do not be there that you're in a country that has a system that is functional. Nti ngenda kuvuma omuntu balemu okunoonya wendi bajja kukunona wooli. Bakunona isima ekyogeranga bajja kukunona wooli.
Bakusangeyo.
So yeah.
Okay. Kale, challenges endala zikwatagana ne social media ngezo tuzogeddeko wali endala zogamba nti zili very crucial tuzogero katini nnyo
about social media.
Yeah. Gwe mu experience yo nga gwe.
Tuyogeddeko mpozi against our government.
Yes.
That they should not be so stringent with these platforms. these kids are actually begging a living from these platforms. It's a serious, the digital business, of course the government or maybe the authorities that collect revenue could call them the invisible economy or the digital economy. Nti nebe nyini abasoloza omusolo kiyinza obbazibuwalira okusoloza abantu bano. Of course I do some work with the body. Some people would think I'm saying this because I've been sent to say it, but in some economies, influencers are paying tax. Like in Kenya, this is what they call the digital services tax. Influencer abana Kenya, they pay a percentage of every gig.
Wow.
Yep. But in Uganda, it's not happening yet. It won't be me to make it, but it's coming. The more we try to streamline this business, the more you legitimize it, the more the authorities, the more you will go to them. Nti wona kala ntajja kugamba nze boba ng'okola nange brewery olina okuba ne tin, the tax number. But then kufuna tin eyo olina jijja mu URA.
Of course.
Okay? So that's toyina kati bw'okidduka.
Yeah, of course.
Kyekituufu ssente bazifuna. Ate yabajja kugamba nti nze bema nkusasula bw'oba toyina tin sikusasula. Oba bw'oba tompadde IFRIS. Fiscalized receipt, URA gyetambuza. Client agambe ffe wano policy yaffe olina okuba ng'otuwa receipt eya IFRIS. So which means nti bana bakusasula be bana beteekalize nti you have to pay tax of the money you get from influencing, baba bajja kukuggyako omusolo. So then if government is planning to maybe tax some money from this digital economy, bagezeeko okuba nti tebanyigiriza nnyo platforms zino. Bazinyigiriza nnyo,
Okay, kale. Webale Albert, mudakikafu obusembayo. Nkimanyi waganyo maama wo mutumireko. Bagambye ali alaba.
Ali mu kulaba mama wange bamuyita Kansime Sadrin. Yeah, my beautiful mother. Otulaba bwoti yinza otuyita Oluganda. Yanzaala akyali muto nnyo.
Oh dear.
Yeah, she's watching. Also my father is called Bernard Kabagambe. So I'm sure those where I come from know him. So then my auntie, she's called Bridget Mugambe Ngaverano. Then my sister Julian, my brother Alvin.
So also
so thank you for having me. Okay. This has been a very good conversation. Omukyala kati kiriwe kiti omukyala dero nze ndi single. Naye ngenda kuvaawo nga nina omukyala wano.
Bambi ali mu lobby akulinda. Okay.
Ngenda mubuliramu ensonga zange. Bajja bbira baba.
Bajja bbira. They will know.
Okay. I'm not into trouble.
Okay, Albert. Kugundi, ogambye tuno IVAS Africa, eri all over 9 countries, 9 African countries. Ebyo omuntu ali eyo nga bino asobola ayagala kukolanga gwe really. Akikola atya nga tumaliriza buno dakiika.
Okay. We are reachable. IVAS, we are on all digital platforms, IVAS Africa. Then we also, our website is ivas.ug. That's but then also we have a contact. Then there's also my personal contact. I'll read it. It's 0703420715. That's 703420715. So for any tips on digital, how you can work with us, you can reach out and we figure out this thing as Gen Zs. The digital and Gen Zs, muli bana bato. Mukole ebintu by'abana bato. Jamu sente.
Okay. Mbayo abatop nga katukugwe. Njagalayo abantu nga basatu. Basatu ku TikTok, on X and over Facebook. Those were really doing a good job. Abantu gubandirabiddeko.
Still on set nze.
Naye
bantu bange bagenda kunyiga. So on X me I'm number 1 Erinas's. Number
okay.
1 then 2 but then nabagambye nkugambye bintu birimu good at what of course me then kati ndi musajja waffe ono Kyamagero is so good though controversial then we have Uncle Mo. Top shutter.
Yes.
Top shutter. I work with him a lot with my campaigns.
Good.
Then YouTube, there are a couple of YouTubers we've worked with. There's Kasuku, there's Saimo, Kawalata, there are the guys there, they're the Melvins from the Mob Jazz podcast. Then of course on Instagram, we have the Lucy's, there's Celine, there's Paul. So what speaks to who is good, they are good at what? Whatever Abalungi could travel, you know, explore Uganda.
Yes.
When you're very good at that, while you're mulungi mu marketinga,
generally just so but babeko chobakopako.
Yeah. Nedda kati chobakopako, go to their platforms, go through their things, see how they do that content.
Nachingamba abantu
you can even reach out to them. Abantu bali very approachable. Uncle Mo is one of the most humble people I've met. Even Kasuku oyo mumulaba ine fujjolye. But you can reach out no mubuza kino chikolo. They are very free to tell you. Tebali selfish. Like I've told you, you can't call me and ask me anything. So yeah, tetuli bantu babi twagaliza n'abalala bajja industry eno. And yeah, Stella.
Evolution of analysts. Bogera ko kyabo. Ba
analyst abo. Kati ba analyst abo mbalina ko buzibu obwa.
Okusingira ddala.
Tukireke.
Nedda kale toyagala.
Mugenda mutegeera. Abasinga basajja bange. Okay, no, but then the analysts nga benkugambye, you can't fight them. These people have the audiences. Njo omuntu ajja kujja agende ku TikTok live. Ayogere ku a political issue again maaso. Nga ayina abantu bamulaba bangi okusinga a TV out there na ye hosting a political show. Ekyo tugenda kuki. That's the fact. So of course abasinga babakozesa okutanishinga amanya g'abalala and stuff. I can't go into that. But the analysts bajja kujja. They are there. They are everywhere, even in Kenya, even in the US.
Yes.
This industry, binebiro wano, tebisokedde wano. We are just growing. People having podcasts, what we call podcasts in South Africa, that have more viewership than big media houses. Kati oyo abafuse analyst nga abantu bamuwuliriza. And kati bwe tugenda mu analyst abo tugenda boogerako nga tukomyewo. Nabamu njogeddeko nabo. Nebaga mu nsonyiwe ngenda bayisaamu amagaali.
Ba Frank Ntambi abo bakola omulimu gw'amaanyi nnyo.
Gw'amaanyi mwebale bassebo ne Junior.
Yes.
Bakola omulimu gw'amaanyi mwebale.
Abantu babawulirizamu nnyo. Kiki balina okukyusaamuko just nga tumaliza.
Ebintu ebyo by'okuvuma si birungi. Of course, like I told you, we just tell you what's good and bad. But ndero wakola aba Junior yevumanye ne full figure. But if a brand, I've met Junior before in a bar, nitwogera, and yes, I think he's a very smart boy. And a platform like a bank would want to work with him because he has audience. But if you can't market me now, and asigamba Junior, you can't market me now kumacha saa mukaga ne wongu inago mwetwala naye. So it's just not what we do in our business. Okwevuma kuba kutono. Nenga kugenda kweyongera as the politics gets one mass for the next few months night tulina kyakola.
You were a happy person, Albert, obanga toli mu computer mu keyboard obukola kiwulwo.
Mbeera waka.
Nakitegedde. Ate Twitter yagambe
mbeera ku side of 15.
Wagabe tino genda kaba amaziga ngoze ku so sinnakala.
Ngende mu parking ntandika amaziga.
Nkuwerekere.
Perekera mu parking lot.
Ndedda nze nkukomya wa ku jolufuluba. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sibula batulaba then tundoza
guys, thank you for watching. I know I'm already to get a break on but then my inbox, my social media platforms. So many of you are watching on Spark TV and NTV. Thank you so much. I'll be back. Same place, same time, probably in a couple of weeks. Yeah, thank you. My number again is 703-420715. Please. 0 noti madenche David. Noti musanvu noti satu anamu 217 15.
Amina. Mukama akutukumire era weyongera okukwata ku bavuka nga bwoba kutteko. Nebyo n'emirimu egyo gy'oka tugisiima.
neyanzanyo Stella
kale sebo kale ndoza twasibulire wano mukama mulungi shobadde nungi nnyo kasubire muina ebyokuyiga bye mujjeemu bikwatekane ku social media ne ku content creation ndoza Albert abasigidde ekifaananyi ekirungi so ndoza tutandikirawo olunaku olw'enkya tulina soosi ndoza nayo mutumire kukuba naye soosi
sajja wange era nalabye artwork ne musanyukirako nnyo sajja kyange nnyo ekyo kisoosi garland
okay
I'll be watching when Source is here tomorrow. Please tune in tomorrow 9 to 11. Nja kulaba kisajja kyambala ebikooti n'ebikofiira bakita Source Garland kyali kyange n'ebisat. Please tune in.
Kale tubagala nnyo, you've been an amazing audience, so thank you so much. Love you guys. Bye.